Welcome everybody to episode 17 of Black and Gold Weekly. It's John here. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in to this week's episode. We have a lot to talk about with the Boston Bruins, who are currently on a 5-game winning streak and have looked awesome since the trade deadline. We're going to talk a lot about that over the course of this episode. The new additions really looking good. And the Bruins getting some wins in a win column, which they've certainly needed with this East Division playoff race. Before we begin, I want to give a huge thank you to Mark Allred and everybody at Black and Gold Productions. This show is in partnership with B&G Productions and would not be happening without them. I also want to turn your attention to the links down in the description. We have 3 different links down in the description, one for Boston Bruins gear, one for NHL gear, and one for NCAA college gear. All of those come with a wide variety of products, whatever you need, hats, shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, sweatpants, whatever, all different accessories. There's tons of stuff there to check out. So it would really mean a lot if you could look at those if you're in the market for that kind of stuff. But I'm ready to get going for this one, and I have a special guest here for this week's episode. If you watch my YouTube channel, Off the Wall Hockey, you certainly know him from the chat. He's a channel member and a big Bruins fan. It is ItsLiam80 on YouTube. Liam, thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode. And how are you doing? And I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good. To be honest, I was not expecting to be on here, and when, today, I was like, I didn't even expect this, so thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. I appreciate you coming on, and I know that you're anxious to talk about the Bruins here, as they've certainly been playing well. We're going to start by looking at the past week of games, since the last time I've dropped an episode or recorded an episode. So we're going to go back to last Thursday, the New York Islanders' first game against the New York Islanders in a back-to-back set. Boston had not beaten the Islanders yet this entire season before that game. And then they come out on last Thursday night and they pick up a massive 4-1 win over the Isles. Just what were your thoughts on that game and how the team played?
Well, obviously, how the team played was pretty good. I mean, of course, I think someone injured Clutterbuck in that game. I forgot, but if they did, I like the Bruins play, and they have a big winning since they got Taylor Hall from the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. I think they're doing pretty good, and just how crazy it is for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a game like that, to pick up your a win against a team that you have not beaten yet this season, I think is absolutely massive, especially a team that's ahead of you in the standings like the Isles are. That was a big win on Thursday night, and the Islanders really struggled in that game. They did not look like the Islanders that we've seen for most of this season, and Boston took complete advantage of it and really just outrightly beat the Islanders from start to finish in that one. I think that was the kind of performance that we need to see more from the Bruins, or more of from the Bruins going down the stretch as we head towards the playoffs here.
Well, yeah, there's a couple more games left before the playoffs happen. Mm-hmm. I think the playoffs actually got pushed. I don't know, but if they did, I'm pretty sure that Boston's going to make it, and if they win the cup, that would be a huge thing for them since 2011 when they got Tyler Seguin, first season with the Bruins winning. So I think that's going to be a big thing for them if they win the cup. If not, that's okay. At least it's going to be off-season for them. They're going to make lots of good moves, probably.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. So that was the first Islanders game. They played again the next night on Friday. And it was another big win for the Bruins, and this one was a 3-0 shutout win for Jeremy Swayman, his first shutout of his very young NHL career. And this was just more of the same, with the Bruins just completely dominating the Islanders, which was really good to see, especially for the Bruins against a team that up to that point they had struggled with so much. And then these past 2 games against them, they've just been awesome. So another big win on Friday and a series sweep against New York that really helped propel the Bruins up towards trying to catch those top teams in the division.
Yeah, I mean, every time every time the Bruins play, it seems like Pageau scores every time. But for Swayman, I mean, Swayman is still young. He's like 21,
22
22
years old. Yep.
Yeah, 22. I'm pretty sure that if he gets more saves, I'm sure that he's gonna have a pretty good thing, because he had a Bruins record, I think. He has like a Bruins record for saves, I think.
Wow, that's very impressive for sure. So, those were the 2 games against the Islanders, Thursday and Friday. Those were some big matchups there for Boston to pick up a couple wins against a team that they really needed to prove that they could beat. And then on Sunday afternoon, they played the Washington Capitals, and this is a team that just the Sunday before had beaten the Bruins 8-1 in an absolute slaughtering of a game. And they come out on Sunday, and the Bruins play one of their best games of the season against a very difficult opponent in Washington. They come away with a 6-3 win. It was an awesome game to watch. It was a really good showing for Boston against a very difficult opponent. And I was really impressed. This team started to really show how good they can be in that Washington game. And they picked up what was then their 4th win in a row against the Caps last Sunday afternoon. Thoughts on that game?
Well, what I think is it was a pretty cool game for the Bruins. I mean, they get lots of wins, but Washington's a tough team to beat. How they lost 8-1. The Bruins were playing bad that game.
Yeah.
But then they come out next game 6-3. I mean, that's a pretty good thing for them. I mean, obviously after a game Mantha was in that game for the Washington Capitals.
Yep.
After game Mantha for the Capitals, that's a pretty move for Jacob Rana and who else?
Richard Panik.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that after that game, Anthony Mantha was like, you know what? I'm just done. I lost for the Red Wings 45 times last season.
Yeah,
but even though he had a pretty good career, I mean, not really that good for the Capitals.
Yeah, definitely a game that Boston was superior in, and kind of showed that when they're playing at their best, they can beat anybody, and they can play with the big teams around the league. And Washington's certainly one of those big teams, as one of the top teams in the East. And for the Bruins to come out and play that well against them, I think that was a really good sign for Boston, in showing that, hey, we may be in 4th place, but we're not an easy win. We're not struggling as much as some people think this year. And it's still a tough Bruins team that can win and really beat anybody in the league when they're playing at their best.
Yeah, even though they are not doing good, they have lots of wins but a couple losses. But since Taylor Hall came to the team, they've been crushing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely going to talk about that in the middle portion of this show. But the final game from this past week that I want to talk about just happened on Tuesday night, a couple nights ago, against the Buffalo Sabres. After a 5-game homestand, the Bruins go up to Buffalo. They play their first road game in quite a while, about 10 days. And they march right into Buffalo. They win 2-0, a shutout win for Tuukka Rask. And they take care of business against the Sabres, certainly a team that they should be beating. And another solid win and another 2 points for Boston in that one. Thoughts on that game?
Well, it was Tuukka Rask's first shutout of the season. I mean, that's a good thing for Tuukka. I mean, coming out after a big injury, and you also have Halak on the COVID list. I mean, they've still got a couple of good players. I mean, after picking up Lazar and Riley in the deadline, they're doing pretty good. I mean, obviously, if the Bruins are trying to win, they can like get a lot of good wins, and they're still winning. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, definitely. They're certainly a playoff level team and a good team, and that's gonna wrap up our review portion here. As the Boston Bruins have won all 4 games this past week. Really, really good showing to them, as they are now on a 5-game winning streak since the trade deadline. And that's the next thing I want to talk about as we go into some trade deadline stuff here. Boston has obviously been playing significantly better now with Hall, Lazar, and Riley coming in last Monday, or not this past Monday, but the Monday before on deadline day. Um, this team kind of looks like a different team since the deadline with these new players in. And I think they've done obviously a really, really good job in picking up all these wins and getting 10 out of their last 10 possible points. Just what are your thoughts on this team post trade deadline and how much better they are and how good they can be?
Yeah, I mean, they're before this trade, their newest player was Jared Tenorti, who was actually pretty good at hitting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
then you get Hall, Lazar, and Riley. I mean, that's like those 3 guys are actually one of the good players. I mean,
Yep.
they're amazing. But on a couple other trades, I mean, Matisse Janmark to the Golden Knights, like you wouldn't expect him to get traded, but all the while he plays for the Golden Knights. That's a team that's looking for good offense,
Mm-hmm.
defense. Yeah, but then over to the over to the Bruins thing, they have good offense already. So they got Bergie, Marchand, Pasternak. I mean, all 3 guys are doing pretty good. Well, not really for Pasternak because he hasn't really scored that much this season. Only like 16 goals or something, but he's still good.
Yeah, so someone I want to talk about is Taylor Hall, because he's obviously had a huge part impact on this team since coming in. He's got a few points already. He scored a couple goals. He's definitely looked good and fit in well next to David Krejci, and kind of in a spot where a lot of other players have struggled to get the production that Bruins fans have wanted to see in that wing spot next to Krejci. Um, so just what have you liked from Taylor Hall so far in a Bruins uniform?
He's scoring goals, getting those points. I mean, coming off after Edmonton, he was doing good for Edmonton, then going to the Devils for Adam Larson. But then you look as he goes to Arizona Coyotes, where he basically does nothing. And same with the Buffalo Sabres. He doesn't even do anything. But coming to Boston right now, he's doing good. He already has 2 goals, and I think that's awesome for Taylor Hall. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
doing pretty good, and I think there's gonna be more for him in a Bruins jersey.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. We're gonna need him to play well down the stretch. And another guy that came along with Taylor Hall from the Buffalo Sabres is Curtis Lazar, and he's fit in very, very well on the fourth line for the Bruins. I loved that, him being part of the deal when it happened. I thought that Lazar was an upgrade over pretty much everyone else that Boston was playing on their fourth line before getting him. I think he makes the bottom 6 better. And he seems to fit in with his new team really, really well. He's physical. He kills penalties. He's not afraid to hit, and he's just a really good grinding fourth line type player. Just your thoughts on Lazar coming in as well, and kind of adding to that Bruins fourth line.
Well, he has one empty netter goal, and that's all he has. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing for Chris Lazar to score
Mm-hmm.
after he doesn't have that many goals. He has
Yep.
like something 15 or something in the teens. I don't even know. If you come off like after a game from Buffalo and Calgary and Ottawa, I mean, Ottawa, he was not doing bad in Ottawa, but then coming to Calgary, it was meh, kind of. But for
Yep.
Buffalo, I don't think that it was pretty bad. After coming off like an 18 losing streak, they need to make moves. So they traded Eric Saul, then they trade Brandon Montour, now they trade Hall and Lazar. That's pretty good. I mean, obviously some of the trades are good. I mean, I don't even see that much coming, but I didn't even see all this coming. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the other guy that the Bruins got at the trade deadline is Mike Riley from the Ottawa Senators, and that was a deal that really didn't get talked about a whole lot when it happened. It was kind of an under the radar type thing, but I think Riley has added a ton to the back end. He's playing on the power play. He moves the puck really well. He's a solid skater. He's kind of that offensive left shot defenseman that the Bruins have needed, especially with Grzelcyk having a lot of injury problems this year. He's the other guy that plays on the left side that can kind of add some offense, but he's been in and out of the lineup over the course of the season. Riley, I think, was the exact kind of player that the Bruins needed to get and add to that defense, and they've done it. And I absolutely love what I've seen from him so far. I think he's fit in really, really well, and he's bringing a lot of good dynamic puck moving ability to that defense that they really didn't have before him. So thoughts on Riley and his time with Boston, even though it's only been a few games?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Riley, after coming off from Ottawa, I mean, he was not doing too bad on Ottawa. Now for Bruins, he doesn't have any goals for Boston, nor does he have for any assists. But like you said, he's a solid skater. He's a left shot defenseman. I mean, the Bruins always need lots of defensemen because there's so many injuries. Like I think Carlo returned.
Carlo's still out. Miller's out. There's been a lot of injuries on the back end.
Crowley's out, I think. And if you look at some other guys that have been out for this past year, I mean, after coming from a big return, I mean, they're still like getting goals and points and assists, and that's pretty good for them. I mean, after all these injuries, maybe they're going to come back before the playoffs.
Yeah, certainly. Hopefully, we can get some guys back in the lineup and have a fully healthy team heading into the postseason. The postseason is coming up here, not too far away. We've got less than a month left of regular season action before the playoffs get going here. Boston is currently in fourth place in the East Division. They are 6 points to the good for a playoff spot, though. So, barring, especially the way that they've been playing recently, it certainly seems like they are going to make the playoffs. And barring some sort of epic collapse in the final 3 weeks, Boston should be a playoff team this season. How do you like this team heading into the postseason, and how far do you think that they can go?
I think they can go pretty far. I mean, they have so many good players right now. I mean, since the Bruins have been doing lots of winning for those last time since they got Taylor Hall, I mean, these are some pretty good guys. I mean, they're solid offense players, they're solid defense, and there's some solid skaters.
Yep.
I mean, look at the lineup. I mean, first line is the perfection line. Then you have Hall with Krejci and Smith, I think.
Yeah. You've got Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak leading the way up top. Now you've got Hall added to the second line with Krejci and Smith. That line's looked awesome since the trade deadline. Ritchie and DeBrusk are on the third line with Charlie Coyle. You get Ritchie down in the bottom six where I think he fits better, and then you got Corrali, Lazar, and Wagner on the fourth line, and then you've got some other guys that you can plug in there too. It's a really good, talented forward group top to bottom, and a team that should be able to get some wins in the postseason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at like lots of different players for the playoffs, I mean, who could get more goals? Who can get assists? Who can get like the most points? And if you look at the things after, a couple times, they're just solidly going good. I mean, look at the team. They have so many good players. I mean, they have They have Charlie McAvoy for the first defenseman.
Yep.
And then you got Grisnick the second, and then I think you got with Riley, of course, and then you got some other defensemen that are not doing bad this season. I think that it's gonna be a really good upgrade for them.
Yeah, certainly, and it's going to be interesting to see what this team does in the postseason. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I cannot wait for the playoffs this year. Another player I wanted to talk to you about and get in on this episode is Jeremy Swayman, the young rookie goaltender. He's only played 5 NHL games. This is his first pro season coming out of the University of Maine, and he is 22 years old. He was drafted back in 2017. He went to college. He was spectacular in college. Now he's making the jump now to pro hockey and has been called into duty with Yaroslav Halak, missing time on the COVID list, and Rask being out. Rask obviously is now back, but he was out for a while. How impressed have you been with Jeremy Swayman this season and what he's done in the 5 games that he's played? He's got incredible numbers.
I mean, I'm impressed by him. I mean, looking at him, he could probably get a puck in the net. I mean, he could probably score a goalie goal in a couple of years, but as you can see, coming in for his first career win in his first NHL game, then coming in his first shutout in the Isles game. You look at the lineup and the goalies. You have Callum Booth didn't play a game. Callum Booth did not play a game, but he was on the bench in the winner that outdoor game in Lake Tahoe. He was on the bench, so yeah. But after the playoffs, I think that the Bruins are gonna make lots of moves.
All right, we shall see if that happens. Swayman this year has a 178 goals against average and a 938 save percentage, which are both absolutely awesome. He got his first career shutout against the Islanders. He's won 4 of the 5 games that he's started. And he looks like he has a lot of potential to possibly be the goalie of the future for the Bruins. Do you think that as Rask and Halak get older, that Swayman might be that guy that's able to come in and just be the starter and be that next generational goalie for Boston?
Definitely. Coming after, like, if they draft other goalies that could be the backup and some other goalies that can go in the AHL, they could be called up, and then Swayman's is not going to be like the backup or the starter. I mean, he could be the backup sometimes, but it's not going to be usual for it to be. I mean, Swayman's going to probably be the starter. But when you see Rask and Halak retiring, I'm pretty sure that Swayman's definitely going to be in the net.
Yeah, certainly looks that way, and I'm certainly hoping that he can be that next franchise guy that can continue to keep the Boston Bruins being a successful team and a team that's consistently in the playoffs and contending for the Cup. So now I want to kind of look ahead to the upcoming week in the NHL, or not in the NHL, for the Bruins. I want to take a look at the upcoming week and see, preview their schedule upcoming here. They've got a couple of games against the Buffalo Sabres starting tonight. We're recording this, on Thursday, and then again on Friday, I believe. They have, back-to-back games Thursday, Friday against the Sabres. Buffalo's obviously a team that the Bruins have beaten every time this season. They're a bottom division team that has obviously already been eliminated from playoff contention. However, they are playing tough and they are playing a little bit better here as of recently over the last couple of weeks. What are you expecting to see in these next couple games against the Sabres?
The Bruins getting a couple wins after going to the Hall. They're definitely going to probably get a couple dubs. I mean, looking at the Sabres, last season the Red Wings got a drought, and then this season the Sabres are getting a drought. Like, what's going to be next? I don't even know, but if something happens next, I'm pretty sure that we're going to probably talk about it and, just we can have a little fun with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting a couple more wins against Buffalo as well. That's obviously a team that the Bruins should be beating and need to be beating. They're in a tough playoff race right now. They're trying to get out of fourth place and catch up to teams like Pittsburgh and even maybe the Islanders and Capitals if they really can put out a run together here. It's certainly not going to be easy. Buffalo has been playing better, and they're definitely not a pushover team like they were earlier in the season during their long losing streak. They're fighting hard at least, and it's not going to be easy. But I do expect the Bruins to pick up a couple of wins here, and get two more W's and extend this winning streak to 7 games. So after the couple games against Buffalo, they have 2 against Pittsburgh, who are the team directly ahead of the Bruins in 3rd place in the East right now. Boston is currently 3 points behind the Penguins as of recording. They play on Sunday, and then they play again on Tuesday night. These are obviously massive games in the standings. And what are you looking forward to, or what are you expecting to see when the Bruins play the Penguins on Sunday and Tuesday?
Not really that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Penguins might win. I'm not sure, but hopefully the Bruins can win. I mean, they have Crosby, they have Kapanen, I don't think they have Malkin yet, and they even have Jake Guentzel, who could be a good first line forward. Mm-hmm. But for the Bruins, I mean, definitely they could win. Like, we're not sure about it yet, but hopefully they can.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. I think the Bruins and Penguins probably split that series. I think there's certainly the opportunity. This is one of those coin flip games where either team can win without a doubt. These are 2 good hockey teams, and there's really no easy way to predict who's going to win and who's not. I think it's likely that the teams split. One will win on Sunday. Whoever loses Sunday will come back strong on Tuesday and get the win. And I think it's most likely that they split the series. However, if Boston's able to take both games, they can catch the Penguins in the standings. And if Pittsburgh wins both games, then it would be really hard for the Bruins to catch the Penguins. So these are 2 big games in the standings, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go. And if one team can take both games, I think that team is likely to finish ahead of the other in the final standings this year.
Probably. Yeah, I would think that the Bruins are not going to go in first, but they did that last season, but then they lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won the Stanley Cup in 2020. Congrats to them. Mm-hmm. And after you see them going in the playoffs, they could make the finals. I mean, if they make the finals, then the Bruins are definitely going to have some. Because it's going to be lots of first cup wins for the Bruins. You got Pastrnak, Smith, Hall, Lazar, Grzelcyk, McAvoy, and even Corrali. Some of the young guys, except even though they haven't even won a cup, it's possible for them, mm-hmm. and their first cup win. I mean, it's gonna be second for a couple guys like Krejci and Marchand and Bergeron. Those guys would definitely have some really good interviews and have lots of fun with the interviews. Definitely, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. So that is the upcoming week for the Bruins here. They've got a couple games Thursday night and Friday night against the Sabres, and then a couple games against Pittsburgh on Sunday and Tuesday. And by their next game after that, we'll be recording another show, so we'll talk about it then. All right, everybody. So the last segment of the show, as usual, is Bruins Bet of the Week, which I am doing without Liam. Last week, I actually got it right. I haven't gotten too many of these right so far this season, but I had under in the Tuesday game this past week by the Bruins and the Sabres. There was only 2 goals scored in the game, so nailed that one. Trying to do that again. My Bruins Bet of the Week for this week is Friday night's game against, once again, the Buffalo Sabres. I have the Boston Bruins PL over the Sabres on Friday night here, tonight's game. Just Boston taking care of business against the Sabres so far this season. They looked good on Tuesday. They have the Thursday game and Friday game. Back-to-back games are going to be tough, but Buffalo is expected to be playing a rookie goaltender in this Friday night game. Swayman for the Bruins is playing Thursday, so that means that we're going to see Rask on Friday. So you have Rask in one net, a rookie goaltender in the other. Large advantage to Tuukka Rask there. And Boston's just beaten Buffalo the way that they should for much of this season. And I have a feeling that with a rookie goalie in net for the Sabres, the Bruins should be able to win this game by more than one goal. So, again, I'm doing PL because there's really no point in betting ML in a Bruins-Sabres game for the Bruins because they're going to be such heavy favorites that it's not even worth the risk. So you got to go PL with it, gets at least a little bit of juice in it. And I would definitely be taking that one for Friday night's game between the Bruins and the Sabres. The last of this 3-game set against Buffalo, and Boston's taking care of business. So I would expect that to continue and the Bruins to win by at least 2. So that is Bruins Bet of the Week for this week, and we will wrap up the show now. And that's our look ahead here, and that's our episode here, episode 17 of Black and Gold Weekly. Liam, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your insight on the Bruins, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks. Again, thanks for having me. I'm always available whenever I get off school at 6:30, so just in case we want to do another show, we can plan it out on Discord. And don't forget to follow John on Instagram, Discord, on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to me. Subscribe to him. Get him to 5,000 subscribers.
Yes, thank you so much.
We're going to set a goal, 5,000 subscribers before the playoffs. If any of you guys made it this far, make sure to subscribe to him and follow that goal.
If we do
it, it would be pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely awesome, man. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Again, a huge thank you to Mark Allred and everyone at Black and Gold Productions. This show would not be happening without them, and we really, really appreciate it. This show is in partnership with BMG Productions. You can check out all of our writers' work at blackandgoldhockey.com, our great podcast network on the website as well. And thank you for all the support to all of them. Again, the links down in the description. Don't forget to check those out if you're looking for any sort of NHL hockey or NCAA hockey apparel. There are links down in the description to check that out. This is Liam, again, joining me for this episode. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll be back with episode 18 next week.